Welcome back to 13C. Today we're going to take a look at a relatively new mount from Warne. This is their quick detach version of their XSKEL or QD XSKEL. As a quick detach would imply, it's quick detach. Pull your little levers back, flip it out, do the same on both, it'll come right off. Reverse the process to put it back on. One of the things that we're going to be testing out here today and putting bullets on paper is to prove out how the return to zero is on this. The scale portion would be for skeletonized. So you can tell they've skeletonized what they could on here, hollowed out some of this so that it's not as thick and dense to lower the weight. The material on here is 6061 T6 aluminum. Just so you know the build on here. Speaking of builds, this rifle itself is a custom build we did with Spikes Tactical. This is their sandbox build. Parts wise, just to give you a quick rundown of what we're shooting here today. Mission First Tactical stock and grip. We've got some parts in here from Geissele. Their super dynamic enhanced trigger with a flat bow is in here, which I'm really starting to dig those flat bow triggers. We've got a supercharging handle from Geissele, as well as their maritime bolt catch in here as well. The barrel is also from Spikes Tactical. It's their 14.5-inch barrel, and I've got a pinned and welded AAC flash hider on the end of here to bring us to our 16 inches of overall length, so that we don't need to SBR this. Initially I'd planned out for this rifle, we're gonna get sidetracked. Sorry, initially I planned out to put a red dot on it, but after seeing how it grouped on paper, I figured, you know, this may be a good one to make some sort of DMR. So that's when this optic came in, that's how we wound up there. The optic itself, there's gonna be a separate video coming out either just before this video or just after it on the optic itself, which is the Bushnell Elite Tactical line. This is their SMRS2 Pro. It's in their flat dark earth with a CQB reticle inside here that is also illuminated. I'm not going to get into too much. It's a 1 to 6.5 power variable optic on here with the quick throw lever on there, which is nice. We're going to have a separate video on that, like I said, either right before or right after this. I'm not going to get into too much of the details on the optic because I don't want there to be too much crossover and you guys to get bored hearing the same thing back and forth over two videos that are coming out back to back. So you want to know more about this optic, make sure to check out the video either right before this or right after it. All right, so back onto the mount. Inside here, they have steel inserts to go with these number 8 Torx style screws that connect this up. And one of the reasons why they do that is if you're familiar with aluminum and you're putting screws and bolts and stuff like that through it, depending on how you're torquing it. And remember, you're going to put a little bit of pressure on here, not like an insane amount. When you click this on here, you don't want it moving around or anything. You're going to cinch it down. You don't want to strip out those screws. So that's one of the reasons why they thought ahead to do that. As far as ring size, you've got 1 inch, 30 millimeters, and 34 millimeters. And then this is their height on these rings are optimized for the MSR. Not really a fan of the term MSR. We won't get all political on you guys here. In this video, we save those for our political videos, but and articles that we write over at 13cgunreviews.com. But I'm not a fan of the term MSR because modern sporting rifle, right? Sporting rifle. While a lot of people do use this for sports, which is perfectly awesome, nothing wrong with that, the Second Amendment protects our right to keep and bear arms, and it was written to prevent tyranny, right? So maybe I would prefer, you know, modern tyrant suppression tool, modern tyrant reduction rifle, something along those lines. Who knows? But all right, we're getting sidetracked. Let's get back on topic here on the mount. So. Warne, for their one-piece, for quality one-piece mounts, they're known, and Warne as well, for being able to take the optic off as long as you don't tinker with the mount or anything, put it back on the exact same spot, cinch it back down, tighten it back down properly, and you shouldn't really have any point of impact shift. It should still be zeroed when you put it back on there. Again, quality mounts, we're taking a whole different things into equation here, but when you start adding in the QD aspect, you can start throwing a couple other wrenches into the works. So what we're going to do here is today is we're going to put bullets to paper. We're going to take this off, put it back on, and then shoot back-to-back groups, 5-round groups, and show just how well this thing does or does not hold zero, taking it on and off. So note the position now. It's going to go back on in that exact same position. We're going to shoot them back-to-back here in just a second. I'm going to throw out my shooting mat. We're going to put some rounds on paper right now, and then we'll be right back. So to try and be as precise as possible with our groupings, we're going to shoot 2 5-round groupings with 77 grain Federal OTM ammo. This gun and this barrel really like the 77 grain, so we are going to roll with that. We have 5 rounds in here. We're going to fire those 5, then we'll take the optic off, load 5 more rounds, put the optic back on, then we'll go down. We'll show you the target. We are down at 100 yards right now. And our grouping pre will be the top left bullseye. Actually, we're going to do the bottom left and then the bottom right. We'll do that, bottom left. All right, so there we are. Grab out our next 5. And 5, and a special thank you to Federal Premium for sending this ammo out for our testing. This is actually a little bit of leftover ammo that we had from prior testing. Honestly, I'm sorry, I can't remember what video that was for. That was sometime later last year, probably November of last year. We had a little bit left, and we're shooting some of that here today. We got to take the optic off. All right, so pull back, flip the tabs out, pull back, flip the tabs out. Now, before I take this off, I want to remember exactly where it is. It's off, going right back on in the exact same spot. Now, when I put these on here, there should be just a little bit of play moving. These are actually really precisely milled. So we're forward, clamp it down, clamp it down. There we go. We're gonna go with our next 5 rounds. These are gonna go into the bottom right bull, bottom right bull. All right, let's go ahead and head down and take a look. So here we are down at 100 yards. Before we get into the target, I know a lot of people ask, what can they do to help support the channel? The #1 best thing you can do to help support the channel, you see content and things that you like, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, comment on it. Let me know and everybody else what you thought was good in the video or the post or whatever it was that you liked, and share it. That's a huge way to help beat the algorithms and the suppression that we see and the ghost banning on various platforms, be it our Facebook account, Instagram, or on YouTube. If you're not following us on other platforms such as Gunstreamer and Full 30, please visit us over there. We also have a swag shop, 13cgunreviews.com. There'll be a link up there to the swag shop on Big Cartel, 13c.bigcartel.com, where you can pick up some unique patches and stuff like that that's 100% unique here to the channel that you won't find anywhere else. And then we have a Patreon channel we started up as well if you want to help even more. But the likes, comments, shares, and your subscriptions are a free way to help support us. That really means, it means a lot. When we see that interaction, we see that you're getting value out of the content, in addition to seeing the views go up, seeing that interaction, it means a lot. It really does, and it makes what we're doing out here worthwhile, at least to me anyway. Just to recap on our target, we fired our first 5 rounds. They're right here at the bottom left bull. We took this optic completely off, put it back on, fired our next 5 rounds into the bottom right bull. As you can tell, I tightened up this second grouping way better. This is a much tighter grouping. You're about 1 inches on these 5 rounds right here, with a 14.5-inch barrel, pinned and welded blackout flash hider on the end, 6.5 power zoom with that round BDC reticle in there, dot reticle. I am more than happy with this. I'll take this all day long, and that is honestly consistently, when I said earlier this rifle likes that Federal 77 grain OTM, I wasn't kidding, because there you are right there. So here was our first grouping. We were opened up just a little bit more. Overall, still I'm not displeased with that grouping. It looks like between the two we have shifted over to the right slightly. This is where we wound up. This is where we are here. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully that's good information for you. We're gonna have subscribe if you haven't already. Either that video is coming out before this one or after it on the optic. We're gonna get some more in depth about some accuracy, shooting at different distances. We're gonna go and test out the BDC in here. This BDC in here is supposed to be set up 62 grain at 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. There's delineations on the CQB reticle in here. We're going to put them to the test. I don't have access to a 500-yard range. I probably won't by the time this video comes out, but we're definitely going to do 300 yards, and if we can push out to 400 yards, fields are planted, and getting out there in that, I'm gonna have to walk out there just myself, and then do like you know, the traditional, kind of rice paddy prone type thing, shooting kind of like this, because I'm not gonna be able to get out there and go prone, because I'm gonna need to clear the tops of those, because there's a little bit of hilliness there, and with a little bit of crops coming up here, I'm not going to be able to probably get over the top of them at all. Definitely not at 400. I can't, because there's too much of a dip to go prone even out there as well. I got to put a table out there, so, and I can't get a table out there because again the fields are planted. So anyway, we're going to do 300, hopefully 400 on this reticle, and do those, test it out. Thanks again, everybody. I'm rambling. Come back for that other video, and we'll talk soon.